Hello guys, today's video is gonna be about riding in cold weather conditions. I'm riding throughout the whole year, so there are some differences and some things that should be paid attention to while riding in cold weather, contrary to the warm, nice sunny weather. Now it's around 0 degrees. Actually it's even hotter today than it was yesterday, and it's winter time. So first thing I wanted to say is the asphalt. So the road is much colder, obviously. That means that the tires won't stick as well. So what you should do as a rider is always have that in mind. So be aware when you're riding, as a first rule, always. It doesn't matter if it's cold weather, hot weather, wherever you are, you should be mindful about what your tires are doing, because in most cases, like, you can counter-react to the situation by being constantly involved in the riding, because that way you can observe more the road and how the bike responds, so what the tires are telling you, so you can counter-react any kind of possibility of you crashing, falling down, whatever that be. So don't think about the other things other than riding. Focus especially on the riding, like I said, always, and especially in the winter time when the tires won't listen to you as they should. So on the other side we have the cold road. So what we can do as the riders is not increase the lean angle more than we should. That means if I was to there is the kids that usually want me to give the gas. Each village is like the place where I should increase the gas. So yeah, onto the cold asphalt. You should be careful not to increase the lean angle too much. So like, if I was to ride in a corner or whatever, here it is again, by pushing the bike more down, so like this or like this, you should avoid doing that. Instead of pushing your bike down, so counterbalancing, you should go in the turn, in the corner, or wherever you're changing the position with your body. So I'm going like this, or I'm going like this. So you're always trying to keep your bike more upright, because the more the bike is upright, the more the stable it is. So the more you increase the lean angle, pushing the bike down, the less the bike will be stable. It's quite simple. And in most situations, like even if it's like slippery, wet, you will be fine. You will be fine if you're just keeping your bike like this, 90 degrees up. So all the obstacles, road imperfections can be passed quite easily like that. But if you increase the lean angle, there is higher chances of you having the problems. So that's number one or number two. And we go to the number three, which is the lines, these white lines on the road. They should be especially taken care of, because they're always, unfortunately, especially in my country, in Serbia, not behaving as they should. They are not having this fine coating that will help the tires stick to them. They're actually pretty much slippery. And also the rail crossings. So here the tire won't catch properly. The number four, so the next thing would be keeping your distance from the other cars, even if they're immobile, like these parked cars on the left side, or these on the right, or from the mobile cars. Doesn't matter. you always want to be on the safe side. You don't want if somebody wants to start moving at the moment, or somebody wants, like this guy, to, you know, cut my path. So you always lower the speed and be able to react, as the road, like I said, is slippery and your tires won't behave as you're used to them. So on to the next point is the acceleration and the deceleration. So always do it gently. Don't overstimulate your tires by pushing the gas too much or braking too hard, as the tires again are not good enough. Yeah, I didn't even see them from the car. So if you're keeping your distance and keeping your safety by keeping your distance enough from the other cars, you will be able to slow down on time. And if you're braking, like what I'm used to do, if I'm usually braking in the summertime with a front brake, I will be actually applying the rear one as well. So I will be distributing more of that braking force on both tires, so there is less chance of one of the tires slipping. So I will be applying the front as usual, but I will be applying the rear one as well. So I don't want to push any of the tires to the edge, because, as I said, you don't know how they will behave, and the best way to practice is, of course, practicing on a parking lot or somewhere to know how the bike will behave. But the roads are different. For example, over here you have this whitish road, which is known to be worse than this one in front, which is more of the grayish tone. So you need to be mindful about that. Even though if you're practicing a lot, sometimes it's just not enough. The real road conditions while you're riding, they require you to be mindful. So like here, I'm going with the body. I'm not allowing my bike to be pushed down much, and that's how you will be staying safe on the road. Another thing is I wanted to say about the psychology of the things. Like I'm used to, like all of us are used to, like riding in the summertime, and then out of a sudden, like if the temperatures drop, you forget that the road is not as it used to be. So you should be mindful about that. Like I said at the beginning, you should not think about something else. You should focus on the ride. And like last winter, like it just started being cold out of a sudden, and I was used to, like, the asphalt being kind of warm, so like my tires slipped, which I actually did not expect at all to happen, because usually it won't happen like that. And another thing is that other drivers won't be able to perceive you riding in the winter. So like most of the drivers are not used to seeing the bike in the winter time, so maybe he will think it's a bicycle or something. Like there's lots of things that can happen, but I know that it actually is true, because I spoke with some other drivers and they told me, like, they don't expect the bikers to be riding in the winter. So you should be mindful about that fact, that they're not expecting you. You should always be the one to be blamed about any possible scenario that can happen in the traffic. Again, I'm talking about negative scenario, because you should always be good with the fact that everybody can hurt you, and you should understand that, and you should adjust your riding to that fact. On to the next point is the equipment. Like many people are like scared or they feel like they will get frozen riding in the winter, but I always say, like, there is no cold weather, it's just the bad bad equipment, bad gear. So like that's probably almost true, but what I want to say is, like, you should have proper gear, and there should not be any single point where the cold breaks to your skin, because that will be very unpleasant, and that can of course after some time cause even the sickness. So you should be totally geared up. Like right now I have lots of gear on myself, and also I bought the Transalp for the purpose of riding also in winter time, and it really helps. Like my last bike was a naked one, so in the winter time, you know, all of the wind blast hits me and makes the equipment cold, and then the equipment makes my skin cold. So the fairings on the bike help a lot. So just be mindful about that. Prepare yourself for the weather, and you should really be fine. The most important thing is that you have everything closed, that you have 3-layered equipment, because that will help keep the warm inside and keep the cold outside. So that would be it in general, as a general rule. Oh yeah, here is the water, and I wanted to say something about that as well. So when the temperatures are actually from any kind of minus to 3 degrees, and usually from 0 to 3, there is possibility of the black ice forming, and the black ice is that thin layer of wet asphalt, or slightly waterish asphalt. So the some puddle of water that's actually almost gone, or it can even form, I think, from small rain that occurs during the night time, and then in the morning you have this wet road, and sometimes it actually is pretty tricky to see, and you think like it's probably nothing dangerous, but it can be very, very dangerous, because the tire doesn't stick to it at all. It covers all the road imperfections, and the road is never smooth like 100%, but it has these small cuts inside, and that black ice goes through them and makes the road perfectly smooth and of course icy. So what you should be careful whenever you see like this right now, like a wet road, you should be thinking it might be the black ice. So what you want to do, again coming to the first points, don't increase the lean angle, keep your bike more upright, don't do anything aggressive like acceleration or deceleration. Just be mindful about your riding as well, and you should be fine. So that's about it. I hope this helped in some way, and I wish you a nice day ahead and nice rides. Stay safe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.